That was my defining moment. I said to myself, uh-oh, I've got to reframe how I see people because these pets love their people. So that was when I started looking at you as if I was your pet. And that's when I began to realize that over all those decades of practice, I was always telling clients this similar phrase. Well, you know, if you were your dog, here's what you would do. Or if you were your cat under this circumstance, here's what you would do. There were strategies there that pets used in their life naturally every day that if we would use them in our life would dramatically improve our life. Now, there's two areas I want to talk about. One area is the fact that I have twin sons, identical twin sons. I've always had an interest in the impact of genetics on behavior. That was human. But as a veterinarian, as far as I was concerned, your pet's behavior was almost purely genetic. Because let's face it, border collies, what do? Border collies herd, right? And border collies herd whether they're sheep, goats, children, ducks, doves, dumpsters. They don't care. They're going to herd because that's what their genetics has them do. Golden retrievers, they retrieve. I had a golden retriever in my practice whose name was Oscar. He was a wonderful golden retriever. Until he died at the age of 14 as a patient, he always had a tennis ball in his mouth. Now, people have had golden retrievers can understand, but Oscar carried that tennis ball with him everywhere on the off chance that somebody might take it from him and throw it and he could retrieve it, because that's what he did. He was a retriever. Pointers point. Anybody hear of Bassets and Basset hounds and beagles in their life? Well, if you do, you know that they're just a nose on 4 feet, right? That's what they do. Their genetics are wonderful that way. They live through their nose. Chihuahuas in the crowd, anybody have chihuahuas? I love little chihuahuas. But I have to tell you, to most veterinarians, chihuahuas are teeth with a tail. If you go to shake hands with a veterinarian who has a lot of chihuahuas in his practice, you go to shake hands with him, here's what his hand looks like. It looks like this. They're wonderful creatures, but they have some distinctive behavioral traits. So that got me interested in genetics and behavior. I got to where I actually cared about you, because your pets did. And then I came across the model of human behavior called DISC, D-I-S-C. DISC is all about the way you are hardwired, like your border collies, golden retrievers, kitty cats, because we are also a hardwired tendency to behave in a certain way. When I saw an overview on DISC, and this is the first thing I wanted to touch on briefly, is what I do. I'm a DISC trainer. When I first saw this overview, I completely lost all of my stress with all the human beings in my life and practice. It was gone. I understood why you behave the way you do because it's the same principle that you use with pets. Dan Goleman, in his book, Emotional Intelligence, talks about an analogy for our brains. We have a high road and a low road in our head. If I'm going to train a dog, I actually have to train that dog. I have to speak to it. I have to train it. Otherwise, the dog just runs on its genetics. In humans, we have a high road, which is our higher center, and it's really about who you are. It's about your core values and beliefs and what you think and do and decisions you make, your background, your adaptive behaviors. That's your high road. DISC, and this is simplistic, but it applies to your low road. And quite honestly, when you look at the low road, you're looking at the program that the whole rest of your life is running on. And understanding your strengths on the low road through that model absolutely makes a difference in your business, your friendships, your family, your relationships, your teams. I like to say that as a veterinarian, I can take your teams and turn them into teams from turf. I can also take what you might say is a good thing and turn it into an even better thing. So DISC is one aspect, human behavior, and that's where I work as far as humans go.